Have you ever received unexpected money, a bonus, tax refund, sale, inheritance, and instead of feeling relief, you felt fear? That tightness in your chest, that voice whispering, "This won't last. Something's going to go wrong." And then, before you could even breathe, something coincidentally happened. Car broke down. Fine arrived. Medical emergency appeared. Or you just spent it all without knowing how. And you thought, am I cursed? No, you're not cursed. Your vessel is cracked. And today you're going to understand exactly what that means. Why 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt in less than 5 years. Why NFL players who make millions go broke within 2 years. Why you can attract money, but never hold on to it. It's not about budgeting. It's not about financial discipline. It's about energetic capacity. Today you're going to discover what cracks your vessel, why your nervous system rejects wealth, how financial trauma is transmitted through generations, and most importantly, how to seal those cracks so the money that comes in stays. If you feel like you work hard but never accumulate anything, if you feel like you always go back to zero no matter how much you make, this video is not a coincidence. It's the answer you've been looking for. And it's time to stop leaking your own abundance. There's an ancient teaching in Kabbalah that few truly understand. It talks about vessels, not decorative or metaphorical vessels, but real energetic vessels that exist within each of us. Kabbalah teaches that divine light, this pure energy of abundance, prosperity, life, is constantly trying to flow through you. But here's the problem. This light needs a vessel to contain it. And if the vessel is cracked, weak, or simply wasn't prepared for the volume of energy that's coming, the light doesn't bless you. It breaks you. It's like trying to plug a 220-volt appliance into a 110-volt outlet. What happens? Short circuit. The system can't handle it, and everything burns out. Your energetic field works exactly like this. When money arrives, whether a bonus, inheritance, unexpected sale, it's not just paper or numbers in an account. It's concentrated energy. And if your inner vessel wasn't expanded to hold that energy, it simply leaks. That's why 70% of lottery winners go completely bankrupt in less than 5 years. Not because they spent poorly, but because their vessel was molded in scarcity their entire life. They grew up with nothing, struggled with nothing, survived with nothing. And when millions suddenly appear, their energetic system collapses. The same happens with 78% of NFL players who go broke within 2 years of retirement, and 60% of NBA players who lose everything within 5 years. These men made fortunes, but they didn't have prepared vessels, so wealth passed through them like water through a sieve. Kabbalah calls this shattering of the vessels. When the light is too strong and the vessel is too weak, there's no negotiation. The vessel shatters, and the light escapes. Now think about your own life. How many times have you received unexpected money and felt that tightness in your chest? That irrational fear that something bad was going to happen? And then it did. Car broke down. Medical emergency appeared. Someone needed you. Unexpected bill arrived. Or you simply spent it all without being able to explain how. It wasn't bad luck. It was the cracked vessel doing exactly what cracked vessels do, ejecting the energy before it breaks everything completely. Because deep down, in your subconscious, your system knows. It knows it can't handle it. So it protects you the only way it knows how, by returning the money to the universe. And you're left thinking you're cursed, that you weren't born for this, that wealth isn't for people like you. But the truth is simpler and more brutal. Your vessel was molded in scarcity. You grew up watching your parents struggle, worry, limit every penny. You learned that security means having little, needing little, not drawing attention. And now, when abundance tries to enter, your vessel simply doesn't recognize it. It was designed for survival, not prosperity. Kabbalah teaches something fundamental here. It says the light doesn't wait. When it finds a weak vessel, it doesn't sit there gently asking permission to enter slowly. It comes with full force. And if the vessel can't handle it, it cracks. And the person is left confused, lost, thinking God abandoned them or the universe is against them. But that's not it. It's just energetic physics. A 110-volt vessel can't hold a 220-volt charge, no matter how much you pray, affirm, or visualize. If the vessel isn't expanded, the energy will keep leaking. And that's why so many people can attract money, but never hold on to it. They mastered manifestation, but never learned retention. And retention is the part no one teaches, because everyone's obsessed with attracting more. But if the vessel is cracked, it doesn't matter how much comes in. It's all going to leak out anyway. Your nervous system wasn't designed for prosperity. It was designed for survival. And there's a brutal difference between these two things. Survival means having enough not to die, not drawing attention, not risking, not losing the little you have. Prosperity means expansion, visibility, calculated risk, abundance overflowing. And your nervous system learned survival from day one of life. When you were a child, you observed your parents, saw the tension in their faces when they looked at bills, felt the heavy silence at the table when money was tight, heard the fights, the fears, the worries. And your brain, still forming, recorded a simple equation. Money equals stress, fear, danger. Lack of money equals problem. Too much money equals even bigger problem, because if your parents, the gods of your childhood, couldn't handle money peacefully, then money must be something dangerous, and that programming stayed there, buried in the subconscious, coded into the nervous system. Now you're an adult. You work, study, try hard, manifest. And when money finally arrives, instead of feeling peace, you feel panic. Your heart races. Your breathing gets shallow. A voice whispers deep down, "This won't last. Something's going to go wrong." And you know what your nervous system does? It creates the something wrong, because to it, abundance isn't safety. Abundance is threat. It's something outside the known pattern, and everything outside the known pattern activates danger alarms, so it self-sabotages, not consciously. You don't wake up thinking, "Today I'm going to ruin my financial life," but unconsciously, your body does it for you. Let me show you how. There are 4 main forms of nervous self-sabotage. The first is impulsive spending. You receive money and suddenly you need to buy something. Not because you actually need it, but because your nervous system is screaming, "Eject this now." It's like pressing an emergency button. The money leaves and you finally breathe a sigh of relief. Because now you're back in the known zone. Little money, lots of struggle. The second form is creating problems that justify the loss. Car breaks down out of nowhere. Medical emergency appears. Old lawsuit resurfaces. And you look at this thinking, such bad luck. But it's not bad luck. It's your energetic field creating escape valves to return the money to the universe. The third form is paralyzing guilt. You look at your growing bank balance and instead of celebrating, you freeze. You think, "I don't deserve this. There are people starving, and here I am with extra money." And then you help everyone around you until there's nothing left, and you feel virtuous about it. But deep down, you were just ejecting what your nervous system couldn't process. The fourth form is sabotaging opportunities at the last minute. You're about to close a big deal, get that promotion, sign that contract, and suddenly, you disappear. Don't answer emails. Fight with someone important. Do something that's technically not your fault, but destroys everything anyway. And then you're confused. Why did I do that? Because your nervous system was screaming, "Danger, this is too big, abort mission." Let me tell you a story. Marcus was 42 years old, worked as a construction contractor. He wasn't the business owner. He was an employee. Made enough to pay the bills, but nothing was ever left over. Until his uncle died and left him an inheritance of $35,000. Marcus's first reaction? Total relief. He was finally going to get out of the squeeze, breathe a little, have a reserve. But soon after came the second reaction, an inexplicable fear, as if something terrible was about to happen. First week, Marcus's truck broke down, engine blown. Repair, $4,500. Third week, his son needed urgent dental treatment, full braces, surgery, follow-up, $2,800. Second month, a lawsuit. Marcus didn't even remember existed resurfaced. Attorney fees, $8,000. Fourth month, extended family started urgently needing help. Sister without a job, cousin with debt, niece couldn't pay for college. Marcus helped them all. Because family is family. Sixth month, account zeroed out. Marcus was exactly where he was before the inheritance. Same struggle, same worry, same life. And you know what he told his friends? Money wasn't made for me. I tried, but it didn't work out. But Marcus didn't have bad luck. He had a nervous system trained his entire life to reject abundance. Because there in his subconscious, an unshakable truth was engraved. My family has always been poor. My father was poor. My grandfather was poor. If I get rich, I'll lose myself. I'll become someone I don't recognize. I'll betray my roots. Better to stay where it's safe. And Marcus's body obeyed. It created all the necessary circumstances to return that money to the universe. Because holding on to it would be betraying who Marcus thought he was. If you read this story and felt a tightness in your chest, it's because some part of you is Marcus, and it's time to stop pretending it's just bad luck. It's not bad luck. It's programming, and programming can be rewritten. But before rewriting, you need to understand something even deeper. This pattern didn't start with you. You didn't create this rejection of wealth alone. You inherited it from generations back. And until those energetic cords are cut, you'll keep repeating the same cycles as your grandfather, without even knowing why. You think your beliefs about money are yours, but they're not. You inherited them. And I'm not talking about financial inheritance. I'm talking about energetic inheritance. Financial trauma passes from generation to generation like a silent virus. Your grandfather lived through something. Your father absorbed it without questioning. And you received all of this before you even understood what money was. Science has already proven this. It's called epigenetics. Trauma doesn't just stay in memory. It codes itself into DNA and is transmitted to children. Studies have shown that grandchildren of Holocaust survivors carry stress markers in their bodies, even without ever having gone hungry. Children of famine victims in Holland during World War II have a higher propensity for metabolic problems decades later. The body remembers and passes it forward. Now apply this to money. Your great-grandfather lost everything in an economic crisis, went hungry, saw his family suffer, died without a penny. Your grandfather grew up hearing, "Never trust abundance. It goes away overnight." Your father learned, "Work hard, save every penny, never risk." And you? You don't even know where that voice in the back of your head came from that says, "Money isn't for us, it's for them." But it's there, engraved, transmitted, inherited. And until you cut those energetic cords, you'll keep repeating the same patterns. Let me give you a real example. A 48-year-old man, lawyer, made good money. 6 figures a year. But every year something unexpected happened and he went back to zero. Bad investment, lost case, partner who disappeared with money, giant family emergency. He didn't understand until he went to deep therapy and discovered something shocking. His great-grandfather had a prosperous farm in the countryside. Everything was going well until an economic crisis devastated the region. He lost everything within months. The entire family went hungry. Since then, 4 generations unconsciously learned, having too much is dangerous, because when you have too much, catastrophe comes and takes it all at once. That lawyer's subconscious was operating from this inherited belief. So every time his bank account grew too much, he ejected. He created the catastrophe before it inevitably arrived on its own. Because deep down, in the deepest layers of his being, it was written, abundance equals imminent loss, and the body always obeys, always. Think about the phrases you heard in childhood. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people don't go to heaven. We've always been poor, and we'll keep being poor. Anyone who has a lot stole from someone. These phrases weren't just words. They were energetic decrees. And you absorbed them as absolute truths, because as a child you had no filter. Everything adults said was universal law, and now you carry these laws inside you, invisible but operating 24 hours a day, blocking, sabotaging, ejecting. The cruelest part of all this? You don't even know you're doing it. You truly believe it's bad luck, that you weren't born for this, that the universe is against you. But it's none of that. It's just inherited trauma running on autopilot. Now tell me something. When you think about getting really rich, what's the first feeling that comes? Be honest. If it's relief, peace, excitement, congratulations, your vessel is clean. But if it's fear, guilt, or that feeling of something's going to go wrong, you just found the inherited trauma, and it's not yours. You're just carrying it, like a backpack full of rocks that someone put on your back before you learned to walk. And now you think those rocks are part of you, but they're not. They can be removed. And now that you know where this block came from, it's time to declare that it ends. Go to the comments and declare, "My vessel is expanding." It doesn't matter if you believe it yet. It doesn't matter if it seems strange. Write it. Why? Because public declaration reprograms the subconscious. When you publicly commit, your brain accepts it as truth. It doesn't distinguish between "I want" and "I am." It just registers the declaration and starts working to make it real. Vessel expansion doesn't happen by trying to attract more money. It happens by preparing your energetic field to hold more. And this isn't about complicated rituals or 50-step techniques. It's about understanding 4 fundamental principles. Principles that govern how energy flows, fixes itself, and multiplies. I'm going to show you each one. And if you apply this, not as a task, but as a new way of existing, your vessel will expand naturally. The first principle is safety first, or somatic safety. Before seeking more money, your body needs to feel that money is safe. There's no point affirming "I am rich" 1,000 times if your heart races when you look at your bank balance. Affirmation is a mental tool, but the body is in command. If it says no, your mind can't override it. Your nervous system was trained your entire life to associate abundance with danger. So every time money arrives, it enters flight mode and ejects. What needs to happen? Somatic regulation. Your body needs to learn, through repeated experience, that abundance isn't a threat, that it can have and be safe at the same time. This involves specific practices of breathing, body anchoring, gradual exposure. But the concept is simple. Stop trying to convince your mind. Start teaching your body. Because it's the body that holds or ejects energy. It always has been. The second principle is energetic circulation. Vessels expand when energy flows through them. Not when you hold on with fear with a clenched fist. When you grab money with desperation, the vessel shrinks. Because stagnant energy rots. Money isn't called currency for nothing. Currency comes from current. It needs to circulate. Rivers that don't flow become swamps. Money that doesn't circulate becomes energetic stagnation. And stagnation attracts loss. The more you allow energy to consciously circulate, giving, investing, spending with intention, not fear, the more the vessel expands. That's why conscious circulation practices exist. Giving anonymously, investing in yourself without guilt, spending on experiences that expand your identity. It's not charity. It's not fluffy spirituality. It's energetic engineering. Flow generates expansion. Accumulation generates contraction. Simple as that. The third principle is identity shift. Vessel expands when identity changes. Not when you want more, not when you work more, when you become someone different. Because the subconscious doesn't respond to future desire. "I will be rich someday" creates nothing. It's an empty promise to the brain. The subconscious only responds to present state. "I already am someone who holds wealth with ease, peace, and purpose." This creates real change. Neville Goddard called this assume the wish fulfilled. Not as fantasy, but as identity. Stop chasing wealth, become the type of person wealth naturally orbits, and the difference is brutal. Wealth chaser. I need, I want, I'll get it someday. Scarcity frequency. Contracted vessel. Someone who is prosperous. I am. This is who I am. Wealth flows because I'm the type of person it flows through. Abundance frequency. Expanded vessel. There's a whole video I've already made about this, but the essence is clear. Identity creates reality. Not the other way around. The fourth principle is gradual exposure. Your vessel doesn't expand all at once. It grows gradually, like a muscle. If you manifest $1 million, but your vessel can only handle $50,000, you're going to break and lose everything because the system wasn't prepared. So start small, expand consistently. $1,000, then $5,000, then $10,000, then $50,000. Each level solidifies the vessel. Each level teaches your body it can hold more. And when the million comes, you'll be ready. You won't panic, you won't eject. Because the vessel was trained, it's like weight training. You don't lift 440 pounds on the first day. You start with 45 and gradually increase, week after week, month after month, until 440 pounds becomes easy. Vessel is an energetic muscle, and muscles grow under progressive stress, not traumatic shock. So stop trying to jump from 0 to $1 million in a week. Expand gradually, with consistency, with patience. And when real abundance arrives, you'll be ready. These are the 4 principles: somatic safety, energetic circulation, identity shift, gradual exposure. If you apply this, not as a checklist, but as a life philosophy, your vessel will expand without you forcing it, naturally, inevitably. But here's the brutal truth no one wants to hear. You're going to sabotage everything right when it's working, and I'm going to show you exactly why. The moment you most self-sabotage isn't when you're broke. It's when you're almost winning, when everything's finally working, when the account is growing, opportunities are coming, life is aligning, and suddenly, you do something that destroys everything, and you're confused. Why did I do that? The answer is simple and brutal. You have an invisible ceiling, an unconscious upper limit of how much success, wealth, happiness, and love you can tolerate. And when you approach that ceiling, your system panics and sabotages automatically. Psychologist Gay Hendricks calls this the upper limit problem. He discovered something fascinating studying successful people. Every human being has an internal thermostat, like your home thermostat. If you program it to 72 degrees and the temperature rises to 77, the air conditioning kicks in and pulls it back to 72. If it drops to 66, the heater kicks in and pushes it back to 72, always returning to the programmed point. Your subconscious works exactly like this with success. It has a set point of how much you can have, how much you can earn, how happy you can be, how loved you can be. And when you exceed that point, the alarm goes off. Danger, unknown zone, abort. And you create a problem to return to the safe zone. How many times were you about to close a big deal, and you disappeared without answering the client? How many times were you about to get that promotion, and you fought with your boss out of nowhere? How many times was your bank account growing, and you spent it all without meaning to, or created an emergency? It wasn't bad luck. It was upper limit. You were getting close to the ceiling, and the system pulled you back. But why does this happen? Why would your own subconscious sabotage your success? There are 3 unconscious fears that activate this mechanism. Fear. 1. Identity change. Deep down, you're afraid that if you get too rich, you'll lose yourself. You'll become someone else, someone you don't recognize. If I become a millionaire, will I become arrogant, distant, cold? Will I lose my essence? Will I forget where I came from? This fear is deep, because identity is the most precious thing we have. So when wealth threatens to change who we are, the subconscious ejects. It prefers known poverty to wealth that transforms. Fear. 2. Others' envy. If you rise too high, people will hate you. They'll envy you. They'll abandon you, and you'll be alone at the top. This fear has been engraved in us since childhood. A child who stands out too much becomes a target. An adult who shines too bright generates resentment. So you unconsciously learn, better not draw too much attention, better stay average. That way I belong. And when you start rising beyond average, the alarm goes off. If I get rich, my friends will judge me. My family will envy me. I'll lose everyone. So you sabotage. You go back to the level where it's safe to belong. Fear. 3. Responsibility. Having a lot brings enormous responsibility. And deep down, you're afraid you can't handle it. What if I don't know what to do with so much money? What if I disappoint the people who depend on me? What if I fail publicly? Better not to have it. That way there's no chance of failing. That way there's no pressure. That way you remain the victim of circumstances, and victims have no responsibility. The cruelest part is that Kabbalah teaches that the vessel knows it can't handle it. It detects the pressure coming, and ejects before cracking completely. It's a protection mechanism, but it's distorted, because what should protect you is keeping you trapped. Think with me now. How many times were you almost there? Almost closing that deal, almost getting that opportunity, almost reaching that level. And something inexplicable happened? You froze, disappeared, fought with someone, made an irrational choice, and then thought, how stupid was I? Why did I do that? It wasn't stupidity, it was upper limit pulling you back to the programmed zone. And this will keep happening until you reprogram the thermostat, until you expand the ceiling, until you teach your subconscious that it's safe to have more, be more, shine more. Because the problem was never that you couldn't attract money. The problem is you never learned to hold it. And that ends today. You saw today that money isn't about effort or luck. It's about energetic capacity. Cracked vessels don't hold light. An unprepared nervous system rejects abundance. Inherited trauma creates unconscious self-sabotage. And until you seal that vessel, through somatic safety, conscious circulation, identity shift, and gradual exposure, you'll continue in the cycle of attracting and losing. But now you know the mechanics, and knowledge is the first step to breaking the spell. You're not a victim. You're not cursed, your vessel was cracked, and vessels can be sealed. From today forward, every time money enters and you feel that fear, pause, breathe, and remember, my vessel is expanding. I'm capable of holding this. Because you are. If this video made sense to you, leave your like now. This helps more people find this information. And if you want more content like this, no fluff, just applicable truth, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because the next video is going to show you something even deeper. Your vessel may be cracked, but there's something worse happening. Your energy is betraying you, and you don't even realize it. It leaks, disperses, spreads in 1,000 directions, and while that's happening, nothing manifests. In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get your energy back, how to concentrate it, how to direct it, and how to use it to collapse reality instead of just dreaming about it. I'll leave it on the end screen. Watch it and continue this journey. Remember, you're not a victim of money. You're the architect of your energetic field. And now you know what needs to be fixed. Your vessel is expanding. From now on, the money that comes in will stay.